Yeah, welcome to three conservative gimps, which is going to be one conservative gimp today's so far. Mike may join us later in the show. He's been busy with a lot of family stuff, and unfortunately, Lloyd can't join because Judy is not feeling well. And Lloyd, we want to let you know we're praying for you, and we're praying for a speedy recovery or rebound for Judy. So hang in there, and we're all thinking of you, and I'd like to thank you for all your support you've been given to me, to this channel, for the last 4 or 5 years. You've been a integral part of this channel. So Godspeed to you guys. Hope she feels better soon. So let's get over to the show. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. We got Lee Bessing, Yellow Rose Drone. He's lurking. And we got Chris Wedgeworth and Mickey McH. That'd be Mickey McHugh. Welcome, welcome. And we have Grant, Mr. Stay Drunk, our Aussie friend. And hopefully Dominic will pop in the chat and follow the show. And we got Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger. Welcome, welcome. Also, we're doing something a little different today. I'm also simulcasting on my Facebook page called Arts Place. So if you're not watching here, you're probably watching over there, and hopefully that'll bring in more views to the channel, and we could grow this channel. We're picking up some people. Last I looked, we're at 204, and this channel has grown a little bit in the last few months, which is awesome. Bsing, okay, instead of Bessing, okay. Is that like bee sting without the T? So it's Bsing, okay. Well, thank you, Lee, for that correction. And that's like Bill over at, I was calling it Quinn Dynasty. It's Chin Dynasty. It's spelled Qin, but it's Chin Dynasty. So thanks for the correction. And so today we're going to be talking about the list of candidates are growing that are on the GOP side for president. As we all know, Donald Trump has formally announced that he is running for another term. Part of me, I would love that. You know, he'd be the second president since Cleveland, was it? Where they were non-consecutive terms, so that could be an interesting record. But with all the crap that went on in his first term, I don't know. It's just going to be more of the same. The Democrats will try to, well, they will impeach him. You know, if they ever get control of the House, they'll impeach him, but they'll never get enough votes in the Senate unless we get enough, squishy Republicans that go along with the Democrats and finally throw him out of office. Which that would be a travesty because that would tear apart the Republican Party. And we got Mako Toto, Fly Zone Drone. Welcome, welcome to the show. And the cool thing about simulcasting on another channel is I could see how many people are watching from Facebook. So in total, we've got 11 people. So we've got 10 people watching on YouTube and one on Facebook. So hopefully we could get the numbers up on Facebook, and that would be awesome. So I will look at some of the other candidates, and I just recently heard that Nikki Haley, former UN ambassador, is thinking about running. She's former governor of South Carolina, and I think she'd be a good candidate. We got Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who I think has a very strong chance of winning. If he becomes the nominee, who knows? Maybe Trump will be his VP, or maybe the other way around. Maybe DeSantis will be his VP. That would be a great powerhouse. Then, of course, we got Ted Cruz of Texas, who I think would make a good candidate. And we got South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. I think she'd be pretty good, but she's kind of squishy on a few issues. But I think she'd be good. Like I said, Nikki Haley, former Vice President Mike Pence, not all too crazy about him, because if he ends up being the nominee, he would probably be one of the weakest candidates, because he is not well liked by the Trump supporters. And I don't know if he'd get enough votes to get over the 270 threshold to win. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who I think would be a great candidate, because he's got really good political skills. Plus, he's very strong on a lot of the issues that are important for the Republican Party, such as strong defense, tough on crime, pro business, pro independent energy, getting energy from our own country and not being reliant on other nations for oil and natural gas, and not totally relying on renewable energy such as solar and wind, which we have found out are not totally reliable. And we got we got Mayor, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan. He's a possible candidate. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Senator Tim Scott. And one person who is not running is Tom Cotton. He says he's not running. So those are the candidates who I think who are a pretty good shot at running. So it'll be an interesting primary season coming up here in early 2024. I want to welcome Steve W. Knowles all the way from jolly old England. So I think the top two are Trump and DeSantis, and it'll be interesting to see how that falls out. If DeSantis decides to run, if he doesn't, then I think Trump has a very good shot at winning the nomination. Now, as for Colorado, he is not going to get the nomination here in Colorado, but that could all change, because everything is so screwed up here in Colorado. The Republican Party is in shambles. And I've decided I'm sitting out this next cycle because it's like, why bother? Because whoever is the nominee from Colorado is not going to get the electoral votes here in Colorado. And Republicans are not, well, there are no Senate seats that are up for re-election in 24. So we got to wait until 26 before I think it's Hickenlooper term to run for re-election. And also all the statewide seats, Republicans here have no shot at winning. You know, Secretary of State, Treasurer, Attorney General, they're just not going to win. Just the way the demographics have changed over the years, it doesn't look very good for Republicans. Now, for Congress, there are 3 districts that are pretty solid Republican. There's CD3, which is currently Lauren Boebert's seat, and sadly, I think she's going to be defeated this next time around. I think Adam Fritsch is going to run again, he's I found out later he's a city councilman for the city of Aspen, Colorado, and he's fairly popular in the district. And I think Lauren Boebert has really pissed off a lot of people in her district, and the Democrats are going to dump a crap ton of money in that race. So it was very close this time around. She just won by a few hundred votes. So I am not optimistic that she is going to win re-election. Now, CD4, that's Ken Buck's district, and I think he's going to easily win that district. And CD5 is Doug Lamborn's district, and I think he's got a very good shot at winning re-election there. Now, for CD1, which is Denver, that is not going to be a Republican win for this foreseeable future. The last Republican to hold that seat was in the early 70s, which was Mike McDivitt or McDevitt. Hold on. And he was defeated by Pat Schroeder, who held that seat for 24 years, which is now currently run by Diana DeGette, another former state rep and just a total lunatic tool. And then we got CD2, which is Boulder and just northwest of Denver. Very liberal area, and that is not going to be a Republican district in the near future. Hold on, folks. Also, we got CD6, which used to be a Republican district, but that got reorganized. The last Republican to hold that seat, I'm not. Oh, I think it was Bob Beaupre. Well, he may have been CD7. I think it was CD7. Mm-hmm. No, 6 was Mike Kaufman, or 7 was Mike Kaufman, who lost to Crow, and 7 was Perlmutter, who won, and CD6 was Crow, who defeated Mike Kaufman, who's now the mayor of Aurora, Colorado. Then we have the new district, which is District H, which is Tilt's Democrat. Hold on, folks. Oh man, I don't know why I got the coughing fit, but the Democrat narrowly won because we got a bunch of idiots in the Republican Party called Rocky Mountain Gun Owners who was really pissed off at the candidate, Barb Kirkmeyer. So they decided to run a libertarian and hand that district over to a Democrat. And that was a pretty close race. Wow, I don't know why I've got the really bad cough. So that's what's going on here in Colorado. And I don't know if you guys have in your area. There's another social media site called Neighbors, and what it is, it's like where you live, your neighbors, they'll post stuff, what's going on in the neighborhood, and for the last couple of years, I've been seeing a lot of, stolen cars, stolen trailers. Oh, now it's homes being broken into, and we had one carjacking, and catalytic converters. They're on the rise, and I've just noticed an uptick in crime. Hold on, guys. So I pissed off a lot of people because, of course, I got to put my 2 cents in and say, well, sorry that happened to you, but you're in a blue state now, and elections have consequences. And oh boy, the snowflakes have a meltdown and start getting pissed off and saying, "Why do you have to be in politics?" And it's like, well, it has a lot to do with politics because these idiots voted for or reelected a attorney general who's not a lawyer but a college professor who's never had any law experience, never has prosecuted a case or defended a case. So this guy is way left wing, supported by George Soros, got a shit ton of money from the Soros Fund, and this state has really gone in the toilet in the last uh, 2 to 4 years. Now that the Democrats have full control over the state because they control the House, they control the Senate, and they control the governorship, the Attorney General, the Secretary of State, Treasurer. I mean, even down to the county level. Here, I live in Jefferson County, which is west of Denver, and it used to be a pretty solid red county. And then over the years, I've seen it change and go from red to light purple, dark purple. Now it's a blue county, and all the county commissioners. I mean, every major seat in the county is now Democrat. The school board is run by, you know, the teachers union, and so kids are not being taught, and the their grades are going to hell. So I hate to be Debbie Downer, but that's how it's going in Colorado, and so we're going down the crapper just like California. So I am at least a couple years away from retiring, and as soon as I retire, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm sorry, but I love the state. It's a beautiful state, but it's getting expensive to live here. Um, we got a governor that wants to kill the energy industry here in Colorado. They want to kill the mining industry. And they want to kill the ag industry, which is very important here in Colorado. So, and, last month was, it's not just grocery stores, it's all retail stores where it's 10 cents for a plastic bag. It's like another tax being added onto your. And it's like, I mean, I didn't vote on this. This was all done by the state legislature to circumvent the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which is called TABOR here in Colorado. So now I bring my own bags. I say screw them, but it just pisses me off that they do crap like this, and these are they Democrats claim to be they're the party of freedom, freedom to, for your what for women to do what they want to do with their body. Okay. My point of view is it's up to you and your maker. If you want to terminate a presidency, I mean, that's between you and your maker upstairs, because you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. Might be not necessarily, because I could still give away toffee. What I would have to do is, have a clandestine shipment of toffee to my new undisclosed location, unless I move out of country. But I could set up something with Enstrom's candy to say, hey, I want to buy X amount of the toffee bars. Okay, like this, because what I do is I buy a box of them, and there's I think 24 of these in there, and that'll last about let's see 6 weeks, I guess, because I give away 2 of these each week, and I could work out a deal with the candy company and say, here's the address, go ship, and I'll pay for the shipping, unless they want to work out something with me. So that's how that'll go. What else is going on is the other topic is, do Democrats really care about pollution? And here is my contention. How hypocritical. They're all about, oh, well, we can't have gas stoves. We got to do away with fossil fuel. And you know what? I'll talk to you about how that got started, that terminology. Anyway, But you know what? They're okay with tweakers smoking meth on our buses and trains here in Colorado. And I just recently heard that when the trains make a stop at a station, they have to stop for several minutes to air out the cars because of the residue from meth. And over time that's going to make those trains unusable because it's going to be a hazard to public safety. Same with buses, because what they do is they don't light up, they're probably vaping this stuff. And we don't know how much fentanyl might be in that could kill people. Maybe not right away, but over time, they'll build up an immunity and boom. Yep. Yeah, I get you, Mickey. Yep. It just pisses me off. So, what's going to happen with public housing? Like, I'm on Section 8, and it's got me wondering. We're not supposed to. There's no smoking supposedly inside the apartment complex, but once in a while I'll come home from work and I'll go. It kind of smells like weed in here. So sometimes I worry about, are there any people cooking meth in the apartment? We don't know. I mean, we do have a police presence here at the apartment complex. I mean, every so often I'll see a cop SUV going up and down our street and pulling into the parking lot. And then, remember the old days when the cop cars would park next to each other and really close and roll down their windows and talk to each other? Well, they do that with SUVs here. So it's just crazy how how they do that. But uh, but we have the occasional DV or domestic violence dispute here in the complex, and that's pretty common in apartment complexes, depending on how small they are. Now, you're always going to have some frictions with some neighbors or get all up into their face and take it out on each other. But that's just part of life here and living in an apartment. So that's what's going on here, and and it's gotten me wondering: do do Democrats really care about pollution? Maybe it's not. Well, maybe it's not fossil fuels, but meth. I mean, isn't that a byproduct of petroleum products? I think so. All that is uh, chemicals brought together and in a certain way to form crystal uh, amphem- uh, crystal meth. That's So that's what's going on. What say you guys? You guys have any questions? What's going on in your part of the world? I know Chris, you're in California. I know things are pretty jacked up over there. Yeah, it's also called Crank. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh Might be. What part of the country you live in? Uh Mickey McH, I think, is in. Are you in? Oh yeah, you're in New Jersey. Okay, yeah, New Jersey. That's a weird state too, because sometimes they'll elect a Republican governor, but it's still pretty much controlled by Democrats. Now Lee, he lives in Texas, which is a red conservative state, but you have your Democrat strongholds in the big cities like Houston and Dallas and Austin and San Antonio. Uh, so those are pretty big blue blobs, I like to call, inside the state of Texas. Now Waco is pretty, but that's a college town. That's where Baylor is. So I mean they're probably purple, maybe a little on the blue side there. But I used to live in Michigan, and the whole time I lived there, it was, it was always a Democrat mayor, or Democrat governor, and Democrat control of the assembly. Uh, I watched Detroit go from a prosperous city to a burnt out crap hole, because you had mayor after mayor that they were all corrupt. Starting off with Coleman Young, who took kickbacks from the oil heating company, and then you got Kwame Fitzpatrick, or Phil, yeah, Fitzpatrick, who was taking bribes and kickbacks, and oh, the only one that was trying to do a good job was Archer, who was the former chief of police. He tried to clean up that place, but it still was a crap town. So what ended up happening is all the old row houses, they all one by one burnt down, where the houses were abandoned, where people left the city, and the homeless people would, you know, uh, camp out or sneak into those houses, and they end up burning up the place because there was no heat. So what they do is they start tearing up the floorboards and using it for firewood, and they had some really beautiful Victorian homes. They're all wrecked now, and if you bought one of those homes, even if it's in halfway decent condition, it'd still be a ton of money to rehab that home into living condition. And you're still in a crime ridden neighborhood. Why would you want to do that? Unless enough people came in, started buying up these properties, either tear down the houses and build new homes and clean up the neighborhood. Maybe you could do something about it. It's called regentrification of the neighborhood. So, so Mickey McH is just a few miles outside of Philly. Oh yeah, and boy, I've got some friends. They're formerly from Colorado, and they went and moved to Eastern Oregon beautiful area. They're in Umatilla, Oregon. They bought a lot, built a house, and they got beautiful scenery, and they're close to the Columbia River, so now they bought a lot in New York. I mean, it looks like a beautiful spot. I don't know. I think it's upstate New York. And, I warned them, I go, uh, better make sure that there are no liens or taxes that are still owed on that property. And also find out what the HOA rules are, because they might not want you to build a certain type of home. It has to be maybe one story, or the setback has to be so far from the road. I mean, there's a ton of rules there, and not to mention the taxes that go on there. Hey, Bill, Coast to Coast Drones, welcome, welcome. Uh, Lloyd's not here because Judy is under the weather, so he's taking care of Judy. So he's not going to join us. And Mike, he's been busy with the family stuff. So yeah, I fired them. So I'm solo today. So we'll see how this goes, and hopefully I get through another 15 minutes and not cough my head off. Uh, and Bill, you live up in the Everett area, which is also another beautiful place. Uh, but it's you're in a blue state. Uh, Now, Eastern Washington, like Eastern Oregon, is pretty conservative, and they have a lot of red counties out. It's in areas like Tacoma, Olympia, Seattle, all up and down the Cascade area where it's pretty blue, and that's where most of the population is. Kind of like here in Colorado, most of the population is like along the Front Range here, actually from Pueblo up to uh, Fort Collins, Colorado. That's where most of the population is. And if you go to the western part of the state, the only big city is Grand Junction, Colorado. And I believe that city is, I don't think it's quite 100,000 people there. So everything is controlled from the Denver metropolitan area. So uh, our government here doesn't understand the needs of the people on the western slope. They don't understand the needs of the farmers out on the plains. They just act like that those people don't exist, or that their needs are not that meaningful. So, so that's what's going on, and the sun is going down, and here it is. It's 5:45, and so the only football today, I guess, was the Pro Bowl, and next week is the Super Bowl. So I don't know if I'll have a show next week. But we'll work it out. Uh, Also, I've been experimenting with shorts on my drone channel, and some of my shorts I've been getting a ton of views, and then there are some that are not doing that all that well. But I think I've found the sweet spot is early evening during the week. That's the sweet spot because I uploaded a video. I think it was late Friday. It was right after Race had thrown, and the views are kind of disappointing. But you know what? I've been checking it out, and the views have been creeping up there. So maybe that'll do halfway decent. So, and it gives you another way to repurpose some of those old videos that they don't get a whole lot of views. You could just shorten them down and to the point and post them, and then boom, you got over 1,000 views right there. Any new recipes? You know what? I gotta upload my latest Chef Boy RT, and that was the sirloin steak crock pot recipe. Oh, I'm going to have some right after this show. And boy, that turned out real good. Yeah. So basically, it tastes like pot roast in a crock pot. And boy, that meat is pretty tender. Yeah. I just got to get down and all I have to do is throw it together and make a thumbnail and tighten it up and then upload it to the channel. So that's what's going on. What else? How about that Chinese balloon? That spy balloon. And so here's my deal with that: is why didn't they shoot it down over an unpopulated area of the U.S.? Because if you look at the balloon, it had a big solar array underneath. I think that was to power, the cameras and all that stuff that was on board the balloon. Maybe we could find out how their stuff works and what radio frequency that they're using to transmit the information back to the command center and what kind of put remote ID on it. Did they have? Yeah, I don't. You could say it had very remote ID on it because we knew where it came from. But yeah, so they watched this balloon go across the northern part of the United States and they shot it down off the coast of the Atlantic, I think near South Carolina. I think that's where they shot it. But it was interesting how it. Yeah, did they get a beyond the visual line of sight waiver from FAA? You're right, Lee. Yeah, they should have gotten the. Yep. So anyway, that and it did go across Montana and North Dakota, and you know what? We do have missile bases up there, so they're spying on those missile bases. Ed says, "I bet money there were people look that took a shot at it." You know what, Ed? I don't think they can because that balloon was at an altitude of 60,000 feet. So, even though you could see the balloon. The balloon must have been pretty good size balloon if you could see it from the ground. So that was the other interesting tidbit going on there. And so the FBI looked at the president's beach resort. I didn't know they had a beach resort in Delaware. They checked it out and they found no secret documents there. Oh man! And then they found some secret documents that Mike Pence had. So that's interesting. So it'll be interesting to see how this next election cycle shakes out. I'll be sitting at my house, my apartment here, and watching from the comfort of my office here, and watch the circus go on. So, and thankfully, I got a bottle of whiskey right here, so I get fired up and have some of that. And it's pretty darn good stuff. It's called Tin Cup, and it's named after a mining town here in Colorado called Tin Cup, Colorado. And the neat thing about it came with its own shot glass, a little tin shot glass, so or shot cup. But had a pretty good show last night. Uh, no, I don't want to know because I got to work tomorrow. So I don't drink on a work night. Fridays and Saturdays are the nights I do my drink. So, so hopefully Lloyd will be back with us next week if we do one next week. Uh, Wonder what time that game will be. I imagine that. Oh, you know what? That game will be a night game. I think it'll probably start at about uh, right about the time that this show starts. I may be over at the Enstrom's house watching it, like I did last year, and that was a pretty good game where the Rams won, and uh, that was my team because the quarterback was the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, which is my other football team that I follow, and at least they played better than the Broncos this year. And also Von Miller, the former Broncos player, so that's his second Super Bowl ring. So he's been to three Super Bowls, two with the Broncos and one with the Rams. And sadly, the Buffalo Bills didn't make it in the playoffs. But it'll be interesting to see how well Mahomes plays this year in the Super Bowl, because he's kind of banged up, but you know what? He prevailed over the Cincinnati Bengals last week, and the Philadelphia Eagles. They're a pretty darn good team. They got a really good record, so I think this will be a really good football game. I think it'll end up being a high scoring game because you got two really good quarterbacks, and depending on how the defense holds up, uh, I think it'll be. Yes, I know, Ed. I'm the same way. When they start kneeling, yeah, that was back in 16 and 17. but they stopped doing that after Trump got out of office. Yeah. I think it was more about Trump being the president than anything else. Andrew, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Yeah, I haven't seen any kneeling in the last 2, maybe 3 years. So, yep. So Biden's been president for over 2 years, and nothing's been built back better. What's going on with that? What's up? What's up with that? As Jerry Seinfeld. Yes, I am, Andrew. Judy is under the weather, so Lloyd is taking the night off to take care of Judy. And Mike, I thought he was going to join us because he said he tried to pop in, but he's been, busy with family stuff, so which is good. Can't begrudge people that they have a lot of family gatherings. That's good. Hopefully, maybe later he'll join us uh, on one of these shows, and I hope I could get Thaddeus McConnor back soon. Yes, that's right, Mike. Although it'd be pretty hard for me to kneel because the way my legs are screwed up, I can't kneel. So no problem with that. I am busy soldering springs together. Oh, tell you a little bit about the company I work for. I work for Trelleborg Sealant Solutions, and we make components for the Falcon rocket and the Blue Origin rocket. And we make components for Airbus jets. And we have some defense contracts as well. So I would love to fly my drone around the factory. I mean, it's a huge factory, but I I don't think they would want me to fly around there, except maybe in the office area, because there's probably some sensitive stuff that I can't photograph, yeah. Photograph or get video of. Although I'm not, it's not going to stop me from asking, because you never know if you don't ask. If I ask them and say, well, I'll fly around, I'll just tell me the areas, the sensitive areas to either not fly over, or I will redact those areas so nobody could see what's going on. And I think it'd be cool to come through the front of the company and go through the lunchroom and then out into the factory and kind of take a little lap around the company, and you could see all the different little departments, and then go through the the door into the Maroon Bell room, which is our conference room where we have our weekly meetings in. And there's another door that goes right into the office area where I could just go around the lobby and fly over the cubicles of the people working there, the what is it, customer service, and all that stuff. That'd be kind of cool to do that. And if they like my work, because they are a global company. Maybe I get a gig to the main headquarters in Trelleborg, Sweden. That would be awesome if they pay my way over to Europe and fly through the main headquarters there. That would be awesome. And plus, they have factories all over the world. I know they have one in Taiwan, and they have one in well, they've got a couple in China. They probably wouldn't want me to go there, but they have some factories in uh, South America, and I think Australia. Philippines, they don't have one. Darn, I wish they had one in the Philippines. But I think Vietnam or Indonesia, I know they have a factory or two in Indonesia. And that'd be kind of cool to fly around the facilities there. So, guys, we made it to an hour, and yes, Andrew, I would love to go to Sweden. Yes, that's right, Andrew. One rule: don't crash. Yep. Yep. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming to the show and putting up with me for a whole hour, listening to me drone on and on. So you guys have a great week. God bless you. God bless this great country. And God help us here in Colorado. Hopefully we get straighten everything out in about 20 years. So take care. You have a great week. Catch you next time. Bye bye.